Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Isabelle Amigues from UnabridgedMD, your friendly rheumatologist who's also the host of UnabridgedMD podcast. Today, we are continuing our Patient Stories of Hope series with a dear patient of mine who has an incredibly inspiring story. You're going to learn about the resilience. You're going to learn about a journey that is, one of a kind and very potentially could have been very severe. And that, as all of those stories of hope, brings you to this beautiful life. So without further ado, Ibeth, thank you so much for sharing your story of hope. It's such a pleasure. And without further ado, would you tell us a little bit your story when it comes to your health? Like what happened? What happened? You can do as many detail as you want, as little. Tell the auditors.
Well, this has been an interesting journey, actually, because I just didn't know what was happening to me until I found myself at the emergency room at the hospital. And basically, after having some challenges, all of a sudden, I ended up with a renal failure at the hospital. And at that moment, to me, everything was a surprise. I didn't know how this happened when I thought that I was actually giving myself the best care possible to avoid a situation as challenging as that one was. And so I spent 2 weeks at the hospital, and unfortunately, I had to. At first, I didn't know what was happening to me, and of course, I guess everybody knows that when we go to the hospital, we are the subject of a lot of testing and procedures. And at the end, they diagnosed me with lupus. And because at that state, my state was so severe, they also said that I was going to need dialysis. At first, they weren't sure what was going to happen, because what they found was that I had a possibility of recovery, just because even though my kidneys were injured, I wasn't in an advanced stage to consider that I would never recover from that. But I was going to need dialysis for a little bit. Nobody knew for how long. So after 2 weeks at the hospital, I left the hospital of course, with dialysis. I didn't know what was going to happen. And they recommended that I find a rheumatologist. And I didn't know at the time where to go. But in the past, I had gotten a referral for an Abridge for you. And for what I could gather at that time when I had that interview with you, I just couldn't think of a better place to go, honestly. And so I got in touch with you, and that's where I am going to say my journey of hope started, because I just didn't know anything. I wasn't sure what was next for me. And so I got before that, I think that the miracle part for me was that I was able to stop dialysis. After about 2 months about 2 months in dialysis, a month and a half, I started to recover. And that was about the time where I also met you. And then you just offered me all these possibilities and encouraged me to really hang on my hope that that a remission was possible. And I didn't know. And so you offer me not only the possibilities, you spend all the time with me, telling me what we could do, how now there were more treatments, and it wasn't like the past, and that I could fully recover, that I really could do it, that it was just a matter of time and trying different things. And that's when we started treatment, and I slowly recovered. I am still on that journey. I think that I still need some more time, but it's been also only 9 months since the very beginning. And when you consider that the body takes time to regain that balance, it's really expected. It is us patients that sometimes have this urgency to get well now, and sometimes it cannot be now. It is a process and it takes time. And this is what I have gotten also from you, the support throughout all this time to go slowly into this journey of recovering. And I, of course, still have the hope that I will get into remission. I just understand now that it's probably going to take some time. That is not it may not happen when I wanted or when I expected, because there are a lot of things that we need to take care of. And you have been there all the way, letting me know what is the next step in this journey, and listening to my concerns as well, and guiding me through what could be the best for me at certain times. I don't know if this summarizes my journey.
It's I want to just pinpoint this, because you went very fast through this. Here is you, Ibeth, who were doing really, really well, and one day finds yourself in the hospital with full renal failure, requiring hemodialysis because basically your kidneys do not work anymore. Mm-hmm. So this is such an important, because you went very fast on this, but this is renal failure requiring dialysis because of this autoimmune process, right? And just realizing that your body, if you're treating this fast enough, has the ability to heal. And your body is incredible because it is healing. And I know you're like, oh, this is not as fast as I would like, but overall, I think it's actually pretty fast. Because, in the 9 months that you're describing, there is, 2-3 months with renal failure. So really your body is getting used to not needing medications, not like a lot of medications, right? And not needing help with the dialysis. Your body is doing the work. And so I just, if you mind me sharing this, when we're talking about renal failure here, your creatinine, for those who understand what this is, was I think 9 or 9.5. I mean, we're talking
very high. Mm-hmm.
Very high creatinine, very low GFR, which is kidney function, and now it's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it's fully normal. So that is important. We're working on decreasing the prednisone slowly. And because you and I have been able to talk together on what's the best step for you, right? Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to share this because you went very fast.
I did, and I guess well, I have to acknowledge that I'm still a little bit nervous, but it is true. Even though I went over this very fast, it was very significant, and it is true. I not only had renal failure, I was at the verge of a heart attack, because when I went to the hospital, my potassium levels were very high. I was very swollen. I was retaining a lot of fluid. It was really, I guess we just don't have the time to describe all the details for such a situation. Mm-hmm. But you are absolutely right. It really, that experience really changed my life from before and after. Mm-hmm. And I just, of course, I don't minimize that. I just also doing it for the sake of time, because I'm sure that you have a lot of questions for me. But yes, thank you for bringing that up and for acknowledging how challenging that experience was. And as you said, it's been a process in which I'm slowly regaining that balance, and we are already working on tapering the prednisone. And yes, it has been a journey.
Yeah. When your story is such a history of hope, and this is why it's so powerful to be shared, because when you have patients who have like very often what happens is that we feel that our body has abandoned us, is not doing their job, and we're
True.
thinking, what? Why? Why did our body do
True.
that? Why? Like, did I not treat my body properly? Like, did I do something wrong? Um, and and I think, with your story, I really want to share this. Like, it's not like, don't think that because you're in a severe situation, there's no hope. There is always hope.
Absolutely. And I recently, though, I was listening to different things about kidney health and all that, and I was shocked to hear somebody saying that once you start dialysis, you can never go back. And I was like, what are they saying? I am I am the example that it is possible. I know, of course, that it's going to depend on a lot of factors. I am very well aware of that. But I also know
Mhm.
that that is not true for everybody. And
Mhm.
that we really have to remember that when we go through these situations, because it could be us, like it was me in this time, at this time. I was they told me, we don't know what is going to happen. We don't know for how long you are going to need dialysis. So for me, it was a miracle the day that they told me you don't need dialysis anymore. At the time, I didn't know anything. And I really want to share with everybody that we don't, our bodies are always trying to regain that balance.
Yes.
And no, there is no way that others can have a say on that. And we should always have that hope. And because it's really was, because we don't really know. Look at in my particular case, and this is what I want to emphasize to people too. No matter what diagnosis we have, there are always possibilities, known and unknown.
Yeah.
And this is something that you emphasized also when I met you,
Yeah.
and that was very important to me. So yeah, I wanted to share that bit too, because it is possible. So regardless of what they are saying, that it's hard for people to come out with dialysis, I'm here and I can testify that it is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so beautiful, and thank you. And you know that I share this. I always say, if your body was able to create a condition, your body is also able to heal. And our job is to find what your body needs to heal. Right? That's the job that we have. Your job, my job. I'm helping with the knowledge that I have because I study autoimmune disorder. And at the end of the day, I work, I think with you more than anyone, really, we've worked with your intuition as well.
Mhm.
Like I always say, when there's a fire, so an autoimmune inflammatory process, you want to decrease it with a lot of immunosuppression. And it's very, like, your treatment is very tailored to you, because you intuitively felt, I don't want to do a ton of treatment. I feel like my body is gonna heal. And you've been right. You've proven yourself right. and
Yeah,
and
well,
yeah.
but it's not also me. I really have to give you credit too.
Thank you.
The credit for you is in how respectful and supportive you have been. I mean, my treatment, even though has been tailored to me, is a soul. It is the kind of treatment that I have. It has been also, what can I say? Not just because you adjust the medication. It's also because you have listened to what are my needs as well, and you try to make it so it is still a good treatment for me, but you also listen to my concerns.
Mhm.
And I'm saying this to everybody with absolute sincerity, because this is how I felt it has been.
Mhm.
So the credit goes to you too. Just
Thank you.
of course, of course.
Yeah. It's I think, it's always weird for me to hear that, because I feel like everyone should be like that. So I'm like, wait, what? Why? This is your body. I'm here to share my knowledge in a certain type of condition. That the way I see it is, I want my patients to know what I know. And once they know what I know, what do they choose? I really truly believe that everyone knows better what they need than anyone else, right? Like you were saying this earlier when you were like, listen to you. No one else knows what's going on within you, right? So when you're saying listen to you, that's exactly it. We need to, the way I see it is, I really feel like we can see a condition as a messenger of what does my body needs. And sometimes, right, we need to sleep. Well, sometimes we need to work on relationship. We need to, because that's draining a lot of energy. But always, 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 like being very curious of what does my body needs right now. And it's interesting because if I listen to my body personally, I know that I don't need another cookie, but sometimes I want it. But it is interesting because if you really listen and if you really like take ownership and respect, if you really respect the needs of your body, you come out of a journey in a better way. Like I say this often, and I can say this to you, right? And I'm sure I've said it to you. Yes, you have been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. Yes, there has been a lot going on, right? And it's much better now, but it's still ongoing. And I do believe that in the long run, what you are learning from this will grow you to a point that you will always be actually grateful for that experience because you will listen to your body more. So, right, like we can all live until 60 and not listen to our body and beating our body, and our body is very kind and doesn't say anything. And then at 60, it's like, white flag, I'm out, right? Or something happens to us, and it can be at any age. I'm just giving this age like that. And we listen and we're like, okay, what do you need so that we can heal? And at this moment, we heal not only from that inflammatory or autoimmune, but we're preventing other things from happening. And that's how I see it.
I share that with you. I think that is really very important that we are in touch with our bodies. And once we are in touch with our bodies, we can recognize those signs that alert us that something needs to be done. And that's when respects come. But before respect, we really have to learn to listen to our bodies. I have felt throughout all this time with you, I have felt that you have encouraged that.
Yeah.
And that's where that's what I guess what I meant when I said before, all this support and respect, because out of that encouragement that you have been giving me about listen to my body, you have also listened to what I have to say. And so I agree with what you said. It's just sometimes we live too many years without paying attention to ourselves. And it's a relationship that we have to build with ourselves. And I made an effort to do it. Throughout the years. It's just that when we go through a critical situation, with a life-threatening situation, we doubt sometimes, and we don't know what to do, and we lose hope too sometimes. And but remembering that I really need to get in touch again with my body has been very important in this process of healing. I'm still healing, but I consider this fundamental. Because from that relationship that I have with myself is that I can know what might be happening, and then I can communicate to you what is it that I am feeling and why I'm afraid of certain things or not. And then we decide what we are going to do next.
Yes.
To meet those needs. And that to me is also very important.
I love it. Oh, I don't think I can add anything to this. It's beautiful.
It is sometimes difficult to share the whole story, because in such a short time we leave out so many details that could enrich our experience, because it hasn't been just my experience, it has been our experience. You see, I mean, I'm sharing just my side, and with the you have said, perhaps you can imagine what has happened between the two of us, but because we have been talking pretty much every week, every 2 weeks. So it's been
Yeah.
pretty much since we met.
Yeah.
So we have already built this relationship, this bond throughout all this time. So, and it's hard to convey in a short time, but of course I am here. I'm willing to share and answer questions that you have or that anybody has. It is okay. I don't care if that is anonymous or not. I'm open and willing. So.
You're amazing. Thank you so much, Ibeth. Yeah, I think it's such a beautiful story of hope. It's probably as severe as it can get, right? An autoimmune that affects the kidney, that is went all the way to the hemodialysis, and you know me, I already see the future for you, and so I know that the future is very bright. And so I know that I'm managing your patients. That's what I'm managing with you right now. But for me, it's a history of hope. It's a history of success, and that's what's so incredible for me, because I'm seeing that, and I'm just here to manage your excitement to get there and your patience to get there. And
I think that you do more than managing, really. Because managing sounds like you're doing it like externally and just telling me, but I don't feel it that way. I feel that it's more than managing, because you have been present there with every concern that I have had. So I just felt that I needed to be fair, that managing is not really saying everything about what you are doing, and with your staff is doing too. All the support that I get from everybody. So just wanted to emphasize that.
I really appreciate that. And maybe that's why it's so nice. Like I think we forget sometimes that doctors are humans too, and and maybe it's because of my own history of health crisis that it really is so important to me, and this communication, this open communication. And one of the things that I have to say, right, in the previous system, I could never have been able to talk with my patients the way I talk with them, right? And for you, when we need tests on a regular basis to see how we manage and how we decrease, because it's all about decreasing medications, right? It's really a wonderful feeling for me as a person to see that I can offer the best of me as a physician, that I can offer the best outcome because I'm available. I can be available to you. So hearing that from you feels really wonderful. And it tells me that it's the right thing, like I'm doing the right thing. Because I've always wanted to.
For me, you are. For me, you are.
Well, anyway, so I think we're gonna wrap this episode. Ibeth, it's such a pleasure, such an honor. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, and it really is a journey of hope. I mean, it really went from extremely severe to really just we are on the path. Like, this is just a time. We are on the path.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing this. If the auditors, if any of you either know someone that's going through this, or if you feel like you are someone that's going through this, share this episode. Also, don't hesitate to book a consultation with our team so you can understand how the practice works, because it is a different type of practice. And until then, we will see you next week for another episode of UnabridgedMD. Ibeth, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure every single listeners out here. Thank you for sharing this.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.